Hello everyone, this is Anne from Odulcina. We are going to add more stitches to this wonderful project. And I think that for this one I should just put my fabric into one of those embroidery loops, just so it's more stable. And yeah, I tend to be lazy and just stitch directly, but let's try if it makes a difference. So the tension doesn't need to be perfect, but at least I can work like that. So first we're going to do a stem stitch. It could be straight, it could be curvy, whatever it is. We're going to have a stem stitch with leaves, the daisy stitch for some leaves, and then we're going to add some French knots to create some roses. So let's do the stem first, and I'm going to go a bit curly because when you go unperfect, it kind of makes it perfect. So I'm going to start here. How it works for the stem stitch is that you do a stitch, and I would need to get out somewhere. Okay, and technically we're gonna do it at the same time. So let's see. If I'm here and come back like that right away. So let's keep going on. I'm gonna go not straight. So I'm just going wherever I want, and I come back to about half of the previous stitch. You see? So I'm gonna do more. I think I just don't have the good needle for that. My fabric is too... there's too much layers. I have kind of 3 and 4 layers of fabric here with the back and the stitch here, so those 2 fabrics, and my needle is a bit big, but that's the proof we can do whatever we want with whatever material we have. It might just be a little bit more difficult. Okay, now I want to come back a little bit like that, so I'm gonna curve it a bit, and in order to do that I'm gonna keep my thread like that. And I'm just curving however I want. Just need to make sure my thread stays on the right, because I'm curving to the left and they are always at the right. So then I can go straight a little bit. So you see, you just move like that, and it's gonna create kind of a stem. So I'm gonna come back a little bit in the middle, and I kind of tend to make them a little bit bigger now. You can go really like small or big, or even alternate between some small and big ones. This is crazy stitching, so you just go crazy. It's like the shabby chic style. You cannot go wrong because you can be as messy as you want. It is the style. So for me, crazy quilting is a bit like that. It's like we're taking the official embroidery stitches, but we can have some variation with the length and the perfection of the stitches. Okay, so you see we have kind of a stem, so I'll keep going on for that one, so that video is not too long, and then I'll come back to do the leaves. But as you can see, it's just a matter of getting forward, coming back somewhere in the middle of the previous seam, and always keep the thread on the same side, and you move like that. So you can go really straight, and you can curl a little bit. So I want it to be curled, but I'm not going symmetrical. I'm not doing anything really fancy or difficult that needs measurement. So the more variation I give, the more it shows that I was not aiming for perfection, and then it becomes all right. The problem is if you do it perfectly and then just one or two stitch is not aligned with the other ones or the same length, then it looks like you failed. But if from the beginning you variate a lot, then you're good to go. So I need to go back to doing smaller stitches to match a little bit the beginning here. So I'll do smaller stitches a bit, just so it looks like I am controlling. The reality is I'm controlling, yes, because I don't see myself being able to be very, very symmetrical. So instead of giving me a hard time, measure and use stencils or pens to draw the lines or draw the dots, I just go perfectly imperfect. And this way, I can have fun and I can make something beautiful for the eyes. Okay, so my stem is completed. And now I'm gonna do some lazy daisy stitch to create some leaves. So how do we do lazy daisy stitch? Is you get out and you go back in as close as possible, and then you will go back outside with the length that you want your leaves, and you're gonna put the thread around, and it does that. So don't pull too much if you want it to be round, and you get back in to stabilize the stitch, kind of like that, you see? So if you're not close enough, this is what happens. You kind of see a gap. So really, when you're stitching, you really want to be, when you get out and you go back in, you really want to be as close as possible. And then you get out inside the loop. So when you pull, you have the leaf right away. And then you secure it by going back in. Whoops. Don't pull too tight, because otherwise you kind of lose the round, the loosiness. Here, go back in, very close, go back outside, put the loop in, and I secure it. There you go. I have completed the stem with the leaves, and now I'm going to do little roses. So I've thread a pink silk embroidery thread, and now what I'm going to do is I just want to add here and there some little roses, and they will be done by just doing a French knot. And I'll just do like 1, 2, 3 rounds, go back in. So you could do them bigger or smaller. You can do a variation too of the sizes and the colors. Really, this is whatever you feel like, right? So I'll just go and add. I think I'm going to vary everything, because honestly, I'll just do 2 turns here. Honestly, flowers are far than being perfectly the same sizes and the same space between them. So we could add beads as well. Like you can add like little French knots of roses, and then you can add at the same time beads here and there. And it goes like that. You see what I mean? But look at how it kind of all complete together. I'll do 2, 3 more and you'll see what I mean. And this is a real example of something being really, really imperfect. So I'm doing some with 2 and some with 3 rounds around the needle, just to have some variation. And even this loop, I let it go too fast and it created a loop here. Well, that's good. There's no problems. So I'm going close to the stem here, closer to the stem, and then I'm gonna need to go a little bit more on the side too. This is like a silk thread, and it's very, very hard to do the French knots with it, because it's really hard to keep the tension. So maybe not a good idea for a beginner like I am. I'm still a beginner. Like when I'll have lots of projects in my hours in my inventory, I might consider myself not being a beginner, but right now I am still a beginner. And you can follow me and not be too much discouraged, because you're gonna end up a little bit like me. But this is my way to show you how to be a beginner and still do some projects that you love and that will be a project, not just... I just don't want to practice on pieces of fabric that we throw away in the garbage at the end. I love to practice with a real project that I can keep, even if it's not perfect. I can look at it, keep it, use it, and still find it cute. Like this roll of embroidery stitches for crazy quilting. Even if it's not perfect, it is still an inspiration for later to remember, oh yeah, I can do this kind of border between two pieces of fabric. And the more you will practice, the better your stitches will be. And eventually on your real quilt, you'll have a nice border, maybe perfectly aligned and perfectly spaced. But at least when you practice, like we are doing right now, you have a project and you're not feeling like if you're doing stitches practices for nothing. I mean, you can practice before doing this for like an inch or two on a piece of fabric. But then I do believe that in order to become good with the tension and the sizes of the leaves or even the stems, even the French knots, you need to do it probably hundreds times. So you don't want to practice 100 times just on a piece of fabric that you threw away in the garbage at the end. I'll do 3 here. I'll even do a little one here, just 1 dot, just to cut that line here. Oh, I'll do 2. 1 seems like it's not enough. There you go. A little one here, maybe. Maybe just 1 here. See, I variate. And here I'm gonna come really like to not close. I'll do a big one to fill this big gap here. Yes. Another big one here, maybe. And another one here, maybe just 2 rounds here. 1, 2. But you see how it goes. I didn't really plan all of that. I didn't do measurements. And it's just because it's kind of my style to work. I don't want it to be complicated. I want to relax. This type of creativity for me is really a relaxation. And I bet and I know that with time, I'll be better. My stitches will be better. And then eventually I can maybe try to make something really straight But for now, I'm practicing. I'm doing a little project that I'm gonna love, but it's perfectly imperfect, and it's all right. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.